All right, little Ferguson. We need to get started on this project. We don't have all the pieces, but we got enough to get going. And we're gonna do that right after this. Welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, I'm Rusty Oliver, man. This here is the TO 30 Ferguson 30, but TO meaning tractor overseas, because this is not the country that these were made in. So at any rate, this is the tractor that you've seen before. My uncle owns it, bought new by my great-grandpa, and it's been there ever since. And back in the days, whenever he died, and probably slightly before that anyway, my grandpa ended up with the B John Deere, which great-grandpa bought brand new, and then his brother, my uncle, ended up with this. And that's, you know, whatever. So each one of them got one of their dad's tractors and still had it, you know, or has it. I guess I should say. Grandpa's not with us anymore, so however you put that. But anyway, each one of the boys ended up with one. And so this has been living over there, and he's been mowing his grass with it. And sadly enough, the governor has self-destructed again. All we have is broken pieces of sadness and governor balls down in the oil pan now. And in the last installment of this, we took it apart and we, you know, investigated what actually was taking place. And so I ordered pieces, and now we're to the portion where we might try to put it back together. Now, one thing that I discovered or did, or whatever you want to say, is I asked him how we wanted to proceed. I looked up in the parts book at AGCO, and you could actually still get a governor through them. And I said, do you want to gamble on the fact that should we pay the more expensive price and get the one from AGCO and hope that it's something better and not just another one of these badged in a different box and marked up in price? And so that's what we did, but I kind of feel like it probably really is the same exact thing. They just marked it up in price, so I don't know, but we're gonna give it a shot this time. So this time all the pieces came from AGCO, and we're gonna see if that one lasts a little bit longer than this one, because I think he's about over having to fix this same thing again and again. So that's where we are. Disassembly is where we are here. We're gonna have to take the oil pan off here in a little bit, and we might do that sooner than later. But what I'm mainly after here, we are going to have to do a lot of gasket scraping, because those are really good gaskets. And now they are a mess, you see. So I have one of these right behind you here, which you can't see. One of those razor blade scrapers. And I'm going to give that a go and see if that don't help us get this off of there. Because, you know, what is a guy to do other than just take a bunch of time and try to scrape? I thought maybe also I would try to can I stuff that in there to try to keep some of the trash out of the way? I don't know that there's enough room to keep it, to get it up there, but at any rate, this is a long process, and it's not fun. Actually, it might be more fun if it would all come off in a continuous piece like that. I could be on board with that. That would save us a lot of time. I just kind of doubt it, because it never does work that way. But that's why I wanted to use the razor blade scraper, because it has a way of getting behind the gasket slightly better. Boy, I'm impressed. I don't remember what I used. I think I put some Permatex or something on these gaskets, but I mean, it's letting her come off of there in a real nice way without a lot of little fuzzies. And I guess there is some stuff, but it's not nearly as bad as I thought it might be. What I'm saying is, it's in the wire wheeling range now, you know, where you could actually make some progress. I'm trying to get you some better light there, and me as well, using lights from the viewer. I'm getting to where I need to start charging them up though, because I've used them so much that they are now not charged up. This is the last one that I haven't tried yet, so. Yeah, I think we're gonna be in pretty good shape here. Maybe I say that as I struggle. That cam gear actually kind of protrudes from that housing a little bit, and so you can't fully scrape it the way that I envisioned, you know. But I think it's working pretty darn good. There's a chunk of gasket down there at the bottom. Get this out of your way because it ain't doing nothing now. Come on. Come on. All right. I like what I'm seeing there. That's good. Let's try to get, whilst we're thinking about it, I guess I'm gonna have to get the bigger socket set here to get that actual governor nut off. It's only supposed to be, I think, 35 foot-pounds, but you know how life works. It's never just the easy way around. It's always, we always go the long way. Oh, donkeys. Yeah, it's bigger than an inch. So now the question is, inch and a 1/16, inch and an 1/8, what is it? Oh no, I didn't bring I didn't bring the other socket, and I bet that's the one it is. Son of a Knudsen, if that don't get you riled, okay, that one will work. That really blows though. I wasn't thinking. Let's see if this will come loose without just turning the motor. Yes, it will. Also, I do not remember, does that come with a new nut? I've got to be careful here because I'll get these balls all over the place. Okay, now it says very clearly in the instructions that if washer was used, you have to use a washer again. So, like I said, the new one's in the house, so I'm gonna have to see what all comes with it. I don't remember. But interestingly enough, you know, that's made in there. So I guess the balls can't fall out until the cage breaks. But look how they're just on the verge of coming out of there, you know. Although that doesn't really necessarily matter because it's covered all the time by this piece. So it's very, I think it would be very hard under normal conditions for bad sadness to happen, like a ball get wedged between two gears. However, the last one I took off, the balls already went in the oil pan, so I don't know if maybe that was just because I didn't realize when I took it off that they hit the deck. I don't know. That's kind of an interesting situation there. But the moral of my story is we need to count here in a little bit and make sure we get all of those, you know, that we have them all, because we don't want to forget one in there somewhere and have it be wedged between something and cause some bad times. I don't think that it could ever, but the way my luck is, stuff happens, friends, and I don't want that to happen. I want this little tractor to be a happy little runner for many years to come. So now I'm hoping we can have a repeat success with this half of the gasket, and maybe just get the remnants peeled off, because I felt like a lot of it stayed on the tractor, but I think it just pulled the gaskets in half. Come on. There we go. I'm very excited about the way that this has come apart so far, because it's not, I'm pretty sure wire wheeling it once will take care of all the little remnants here that I'm leaving behind, and then it'll be good to go. Man. Come on. Ooh, right. That's kind of got a little divot in it, wore in it, from all the years. I wonder if it's supposed to, or if that potentially could be part of why it's so particular when you put it back together, you know. I don't think it matters, because this is kind of welded. Maybe that's why they do that. Maybe they left that proud so that it had something to push against more. So in other words, I'm not going to mess with it. If I thought it would make a difference, I might weld that up and grind it smooth, but I don't think that's gonna make any difference for. There we go. Let's get this out where it's not gonna get in the. If we do this right, you won't be able to see a thing. There we go. Beautiful. I need to take this gasket scraper back. I ordered one from the auto parts store. They didn't have one on the shelf. And then they had one under the counter and said, here, borrow this one to get your job done today. And I said, well, since you do that, I'll just go ahead and buy one. I used to have one. I don't know what happened to it. Whatever. I was tempted to try to reuse the oil pan gasket, but I think after I get the pan pulled, it's probably going to be not usable again. That would be my guess. Plus, they're so darn cheap in the grand scheme of things. Why reuse a gasket when we can just, you know? Boy, I got some. Did I get some crap on there last time? I guess I did. The seals are good. I'm not going to replace those because we just did that and they're not in bad shape. There's nothing I would have to gain by replacing those again. So that's gonna be the way that is. What else? Well, now I think we're ready for oil pan, which means we get to lay on the ground. Yay! We love to lay on the ground. That's our favorite. But I think I will go get a new cardboard creeper and we'll lay it under there, because this other one's got all kinds of crap laying on it now, and it's getting kind of dirty. And anyway, I'll go grab that. We'll get the oil pan pulled off of there. We'll do a count and make sure we got all of the pieces that we're supposed to have, because we do not want to have an engine meltdown because of foolishness. So I think if I grab that stuff, we can turn off this light and conserve energy there. Maybe, if we're smart enough to run it. There. We'll get that pulled off. There'll be some gasket scraping on that. And then I think just a little bit of maybe wire wheeling, and she'll be ready to go back together. I mean, there's really nothing. It's very simple. This is really not a difficult process. It's just that you have to take so much stuff loose to get to where you're going. You know, we got to get oil pan off, timing cover off, and you got to take the radiator off to even get there. And that's the frustrating thing. I did order a new radiator. I measured that one up really good and double checked all the ones on the internet. And I got one coming that I think is gonna slap right in there, and the shroud will fit right on there, and life is gonna be good for us, and that's what we want. So I'm going to, I guess today, if we just get it put back together, that's gonna be about as good as we can hope for, because that radiator won't be here for 2 or 3 days yet. That's what I'm waiting on. So anyway, cardboard creeper. I'll get the parts out of the house and bring them down here so we got it, and then we can plug away at this. Well, friends, conditions are worsening in the form of I can't get the oil drain plug out. I didn't remember last time it being quite this bad. So I'm definitely going to be getting a new one. And we're gonna, hopefully we can get this out of here today, because it ain't going my way, friends. I've tried everything, the red pliers, I've tried all kinds of stuff. This is kind of a dumb design because they put it straight back there where you can't get to it. So that would be tight. I need to be going the other way, dum-dum. But that's not the problem. The problem is that it's wore in such a way that it's tapered and it wants everything wants to slide off. It doesn't want to. Oh. Well, we're struggling. See, I can't, if I squeeze the red pliers on it. There. I think I flattened out part of it with that pipe wrench. But at any rate, what I'm saying is, look at how chewed up and mangled and rounded off this is. So I'm going to try to get a different one. I think this is the one that's readily available everywhere. That gasket's starting to crack too, so probably a good idea. I'll look it up in the parts book to be sure, but I mean, now is the time, because we're not going to be able to use it today anyway. So now, come on, don't hold more than my little pan. Come on, anytime now you can stop. Oh, bother. That's, oh, I tell you, it's always something. Always something. Well, we're gonna let that drain a little bit, and then I'm gonna look up right now and try to order a new oil plug, and then in a little bit we'll get started on pulling the pan. Okay. we got this drained out. Now I'm fixing to take it loose. I was sitting over there and ordering an oil drain plug, and all of a sudden I heard sounded like a gunshot. Well, it was the tire on that feed wagon giving up the ghost. So, at any rate, we'll be mounting a tire on that sometime. I thought I had my little mini impact here, but I guess I don't. But that's okay. Many a mechanic took things apart for years without the mini impact, so I can do it too. If I can find the right size socket, because I think I'm wrong. Maybe. I don't know, friends. I don't know. Somewhere, where did I see that magnetic tray that I wasn't using? I don't know. Hopefully this won't be on here very long, or you know what I'm saying. This won't be a very long apart affair. Like we'll have it back on here after a while. Probably not before my bus route, but at some point we will. I might as well wipe this oil pan off because I keep getting it all over my arm. You like how we jump around from one thing to the next? I start one project and then, or one task, and then get to thinking about something else because the butterfly flies by, and then before you know it, I'm off working on something completely different. Yeah, I have to say, whoever at the old Ferguson factory thought that it was a good idea to put an oil drain plug pointed directly back where you can't get anything on it. I don't know about that, friends. I think that was maybe not the best, most well thought out design. But he spent a lot of his time thinking about the 3-point hitch, so I guess he wasn't worried about engine. And then also, this is a Continental engine, so it wasn't like they built it, so maybe that's the way it came. I don't know. Speak up, history buffs. Did Ferguson have any input to Continental on building of this engine? Or is this just a standard engine that they sold, that he built or used to, you know, make his tractor out of? In other words, could you get this same engine in some, like a little car or something, or some other type of something, you know, with no governor? And then that would solve that problem. I don't know. If it's like, well, you know, what I'm trying to say is, Oliver, Waukesha built the engines, but Oliver kind of designed them. It was a joint effort between them. Oliver pretty well told them what they wanted on their engine, but maybe this one, maybe Ferguson had no input. Maybe it was a take it or leave it situation. You want an engine from us? You're gonna take this? Keep your mouth shut. Riveting footage, isn't it, friends? Do you like it? Watching a guy take some bolts out of a tractor. I'm going to leave one on this side. And then I'll take the other ones out. I'll take the ones out on the back side and then take out the final two, you know. It just helps you not take a pan to the face. Now, easy. Easy oil pan, easy. I know it doesn't have any oil in it, but I really don't want to get hit in the face with it. Okay, come on, baby doll. Listen to all of that stuff rolling around in there. Here's some pieces. 6 balls in there. We need to do our final count. Well, let's just leave that lay there a minute. Let me grab the other ones right up above our head here. We will reconstruct the scene of the crime. That piece goes there. That piece goes there. It looks like we got clean breaks. There's no extra shards that could be floating around anyway. Anywhere, I should say. There's a ball there. There's a ball there. I can send this back and tell them it broke. Did you guarantee your parts? Uh-oh. Am I miscounting? Are we 1 ball short? That's not good. Why are we 1 ball short? We can't be 1 ball short. Well, that's a bummer. Now I gotta go fishing. But I don't know where else I could be with it. Well, Knutson. It's definitely not in the pan. I mean... Okay. This is sad. This isn't what I wanted to see. Where could you be? Where could you be, bearing ball of sadness? I mean, we gotta find that. If we don't find that, that's bad. It's gotta be here somewhere. I mean, there's no way. Unless it... I don't think they fit through the drain hole, though. I mean, I guess it's possible that one of them could have drained out, but... Oh, why me? You know? Well, that is not the news that I wanted today. I don't think that there was one loose and I laid it anywhere. There it is. Oh, thank goodness. Take a minute and appreciate what it did. It fell and landed in that hole in that cast piece and just laid in there perfectly. So, all right. That's a relief. That is a relief. I was really worried there for a minute that sadness was about to happen. I mean, it's impossible for them to go anywhere because they don't fit through the hole in the pan, the drain plug hole. So it just about has to go. It would have had to fall either out while you're taking the timing cover off or go into the pan. I mean, and the way that the timing gears are, it really can't even hang up there. It's bound to fall in the pan. So I'll put you there. That's a little different. I mean, like I said, I would almost consider reusing this gasket, but they're so cheap that in the grand scheme of things, they're cheap, I'll say. Some people probably wouldn't and say, oh my gosh, you know, $15 or whatever. I don't know. I think that $15 we're going to put new ones on, you know. But it's coming off of here beautifully. I mean, in one piece, basically. There we got a little bit of schmutz on it. Okay, well, I'm happy with what is taking place here. I mean, I need to get my wire wheel and start cleaning that up a little. It needs there's a little bit of issue here. All right, we're coming along, friends. We're coming along. I hope, anyway. Yeah, we will get a wire wheel so we can clean on this, and we'll get some brake clean so we can, you know, we can't do a project without brake clean. Brake clean is like the official solvent of this channel. So yeah, everything else looks good. I mean, this little tractor was rebuilt, and I don't think it hardly has worked very hard, is what I'm saying. You know, he mows his lawn with it and takes it out sometimes and drags in a load of wood or something, but basically it's like new. I mean, there's a little wearing on the cam. It looks like cam lobes are kind of wore, but other than that, I don't think that it looks bad at all. I bet that cam lobe stuff was from the time before, you know. Maybe it had really low oil pressure before he had it rebuilt, because they look pretty bad in a way. But it's fine. It's fine. All right, everything is cleaned up, so we should be ready for reassembling. There's the part number of the Massey governor, which could just be that they took this plastic bag and set it inside of their own box, and maybe it's really no different than the old one. I don't know. But it was a nice thought to give it a try. So this is basically a very simple process that takes place here. I just got to dig all the pieces out of the bag. Maybe you can see there, I don't know, the light, the tag from the light is hanging in the way, but there. Alright, we've got a shim washer that has to go back there. We've got the actual governor with balls included. We've got a nut to torque down to 35 foot-pounds, which I've got right here in my hand, and you will see shortly. I'm going to put a little bit of Loctite on it, just so that doesn't back off. Maybe the Loctite's not the thing to do, but I kind of feel like it probably is. It has a lip on it, that nut, and it needs to go in. That helps hold this governor, I think. Well, let me show you the old one. So see there, there's a lip, no lip. The lip goes in, as far as I know, according to the instructions I learned. Now, what I'm doing, and you can't see, is trying to get my socket, which is laying here. I've got so many things going on, friends. It's so hard to keep my whole brain straight from all this. I'm just, I don't know. I gotta turn my torque wrench up to 35. Sorry. Technical difficulties. I'm trying to get to where I can actually get to this. There. 35. Now the question is, does that look right everywhere? Looks right, doesn't it? All the balls are loose. When I put that other governor on last time, I was thinking that one of those balls was stuck, and I didn't like that. And then we debated on what to do, and maybe that was the reason that it failed. Now this piece does kind of feel heavier than the other one, so maybe we've accomplished something here. You can see how it works right there, you know, that kind of thing. This needs to be at 8 o'clock position, or else you break that off somehow. So we don't want that. Then we need to get our gasket ready. Hopefully this is the right gasket that they sent to us. I'm going to probably put a little bit of helper onto the gasket just to be sure. Yep, that's the feller right there. So, yeah. What else am I needing to do and missing? I want to get some grease for the seal. Grease for the seals on the timing cover, and then some Permatex there to help this gasket in different places. But I think we're getting there. We're good to go. Alright friends, you're about out of battery, but I hope you can witness this assembly of cover here. Oh, you're right in the way, and so is my light. I can't, well, I'll explain in a minute. But I have to, oh. Yeah, see, that didn't work. I gotta make sure that's it. Eight o'clock. Or you'll break it off. Boy, I'm not sure now. Yeah, that's 8 o'clock. There should be dowel pins in there. Come on, where are you? Having trouble finding that. There. Oh, see, I don't like that feeling. No, that did stay right though, didn't it? Alright, we're going to call that the right way. You just got to get some bolts started in it to help hold it. Alright, so the GoPro died, but I got that all back together, at least the timing cover and the fan put on and the crank pulley put on. So I think we'll leave this video here. In the next installment, we need to put the oil pan on for keeps. I just have it stuck up because I ran out of time before my bus route. So we'll put that up for finished, and we will get all the other stuff hooked up and then test run it, adjust the linkage and that. I think the new radiator came today too, so that would be the other thing that was holding us up on progress. And then the only other thing I'm waiting on is the oil drain plug, which, if worse comes to worse, I could fill it with oil and the filter and then run it and all that, and then just quick switch old for new hopefully. And if I lose all the oil, I guess I'll put in more oil for him. But if I want to make, we'll see how far I get on everything else. And because that oil plug, I don't think will be here till next week. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to leave this one here. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.